We are studying chapter number 3, which is chemical reactions and equations. We have understood what chemical changes are, what chemical reactions are, how do we represent chemical reactions using chemical equations, how do we balance the chemical equations. And after we got that fundamental right, we are now studying about types of chemical reactions. Till now, we have studied these things: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, endothermic reaction, exothermic reaction, and we also studied endothermic and exothermic processes in terms of physical change, not chemical change. Okay. This is what we have studied. Today we will continue studying more about different types of chemical reactions. But before that, there will be a practice where you will answer a question or a few questions. Then we will study some more types of reactions, and we will finish the session with more questions. So be ready with your textbooks, notebooks, pens, and pencils. The next question that is coming to your screen, you can answer this question by referring to your textbooks, notebooks. That is allowed. What you cannot do is you cannot refer to your guide. This is a question from the exercise. It's a fill in the blank type of question in the exercise. But to answer it properly, we should know many more things instead of just knowing the word that will be used to fill this blank. So the sentence here reads, addition of an aqueous solution of ZnSO4 to an aqueous solution of BaCl2 is an example of dash reaction. So the fill in the blank can be filled or needs to be filled by the name of type of a reaction. So we have to, the only way we can do it properly and is if we understand what this reaction is, what will be the of this reaction, what will happen, what will not happen. So once we understand how this reaction will carry out itself, we will be able to identify the type. The other way to answer this question is कि बस हम पढ़ लेंगे, याद कर लेंगे, रट लेंगे. That is not what we are going to do. So there are 5 questions. Let us see how many questions you can answer and how long you take. Please take the help of your textbooks, notebooks. Don't take the help of your internet and do not take the help of your study guides. I'm going on mute. I will wait for 3 minutes. At the end of 3 minutes, I will ask you if you have any problem and if you need any help from me. Time starts now. Yes, Prachi, first answer is correct. For the remaining part, Prachi, can you please write it in the notebook and send me a picture of your page? That will be easier. No, Chanda? First answer to the first question is not correct. You are half correct, not fully correct. Now it is correct, Chanda. As usual, I'm not asking you something that I haven't taught. I'm asking you something that I have taught, something that you have learned, something that you can answer. Three minutes are over. So I'm asking you, do you need any help? Anushka, correct answer. Now, if that is the correct answer to first question on the screen, how do we answer the remaining four? Actually, only after we have answered 2, 3, 4, 5, we will be able to answer question number 1 properly. That is the logic. That is the logic. It will be a tragedy if we are not able to answer 2, 3, 4, 5, but we are able to answer question number 1. Why is that happening? Hint number 1. Coming on your screen now. That Prachi, Chanda, Anushka have told us that this is a double displacement reaction. Now let us try complete the remaining answers. Prachi received your answer, checking. I think the last two, question 4 and 5, Prachi, you got it wrong. Khadija, I can read your answer in the chat. Yes. Whenever the question asks you to name the products, you don't name them separated by a plus symbol. You name them separated by a comma symbol. Comma, not a plus. Prachi, look at the periodic table. Compare zinc and barium. Try remember what I told about the precipitate yesterday, and then check your answer for question number 4 and 5. Yes, Chanda, correct. Deja, correct. Aman, I don't know why you have given that answer, that color of the precipitate. Why? How? Why will it be why? Where are you getting your answers from? Yes, Prachi. Now you got the answer correct. All those who are saying that the color of the precipitate will be white, you need to tell me, how did you do this? How did you find the answer? Did you do an experiment now? Are you in the lab? How did you find the color of the precipitate? Anushka, thank you for sending your answer. It's correct. All students with the white answer, can you please honestly tell me, how did you arrive at that color, white? Only then I can give you the right explanation. How did you arrive at white? It's not a random answer. No? You have thought something. What is it that you thought? Chand, Aman. Either you understood it wrong or you are referring to some wrong information. That's why I'm asking you again and again. This is how this question can be answered. So Aman, how do you know that BaCl2 will be white? Where is it written? Look at the screen. Yes, Chanda, now the answer is correct. Look at the screen. Whenever we have such a question, if we are, forget about exam. If such a question is there, and the right way to find this answer would be to do this experiment in the lab and see what exactly happens, right? So if we are in the lab, we will take zinc sulfate solution, we will take barium chloride solution, and then we will see what happens, right? We will see that we will get not a white, but a yellow precipitate. I believe we will get a yellow precipitate. And this precipitate will be yellow because it is barium sulfate. BaSO4. Why do I say that barium sulfate will be the precipitate? Because when I try to write this reaction where we are adding ZnSO4 to BaCl2, so BaCl2 aqueous, so AQ, we are adding zinc sulfate solution, so aqueous. Now this equation already looks like something that we have studied, which is double displacement reaction. So Even if we don't know what will happen, we can guess that maybe the ions of the reactants will be exchanged. So Ba will join with sulfate and zinc will join with chlorine. And it is correct. It is a double displacement reaction. Now, if you look at the periodic table, you will clearly see that barium is a much heavier element than zinc chloride. And I told you yesterday, most cases, the compound of the heavier element that precipitates, it precipitates. So this will precipitate. And most compounds of barium, they are yellow in color. Okay. So the name of the products are, one is barium sulfate. I've written it already. So I'm writing just here. The second one is zinc chloride. Zinc chloride. Anushka is asking, sir, how do we find the colors of the precipitate? So Anushka, that is what I told you just now, that the right way to find the answers is, we do this experiment in the lab. There are two parts to this process. One is when we do the actual, carry out the experiment. When we carry out the experiment, we can very clearly see that we will get a yellow precipitate. But when we carry out the experiment, we may not know what is this compound. So to find out what this compound is, there is another step which is called salt analysis. Salt analysis is a method, is a process, which is a set of tests, which is carried out to find out what this compound is, what this salt is. So using salt analysis, we will be able to find out that this compound is barium sulfate. Just using the observation, with our naked eye, we can find out what is the color of the precipitate. But to understand what the precipitate is, to identify the precipitate, we will have to carry out salt analysis. So if you take science, if you study science in your junior college, in chemistry, you will do this experiment. This is a set of experiment where you will be given a compound in powdered form, and you will be you will have a process, a method, a set of steps to carry out to find out what is the cation in it, what is the anion in it, that is, what is the acidic radical in it, what is the basic radical in it. And using that information, you can figure out the salt, the compound that you have. Anushka, your question is correct. Your question is very valid. And right now, in this year, in the school, there isn't even a mention of this method, salt analysis, right? So what is expected of students in this year in science, it's a little bit funny, not a little bit funny, it's a little bit tragic, that we are required to remember. We are required to remember. But we don't need to remember everything. I'm giving you some hints. I'm giving you some tricks. So when you see two salts, right? In this experiment, we are taking two salts. Now, clearly we are taking two salts, zinc sulfate and barium chloride. So whenever we are taking whenever we take two salts, it will be a double displacement reaction. So this trick, this heuristic we can use. And once we have identified that this is a double displacement reaction, the second step is to know which is heavier. Now the more answers, the more questions we solve, the more we become conversant with the periodic table. We will know where each element is, which is heavier, which is lighter. Then we will know which will precipitate. So we will know this. Once we know that barium sulfate will precipitate, with more and more reading, we will know that most of the time barium compounds are yellow. So this is how we will answer this year. But when you go to junior college, you will carry out the experiment, you will do the salt analysis and find the answer with a lot of certainty. Anushka, did my answer make sense to you? Thank you for asking that question. It's called, the method is called salt analysis. Others, does it make sense? Any questions? If you have questions, raise your hand. No questions, show me your thumb so that we can move. And when we are studying now, remember we are making a list of elements and compounds. So we can add a column to that. That is color. At this point in time, that is all we can do. We try to remember as much as we can. Thank you for your confirmations. Moving on. I'll first clear the screen. Changing the slide. Now we are proceeding with today's studies. And the first thing that we are going to do is you are going to read this paragraph and confirm that you have read it. Simple. 2 sentences, read it and show me a thumb. Show me your thumb up. It's directly from your textbook. I've just put it on the screen so that it's easier for you. Absolutely no science here. Two people have finished reading it. 3 people have finished reading it. 4. Okay. So here is the question. It's a read and tell. No? So you have read. Now I'm going to ask a question. Based on this paragraph, what can you say? What are the types of reactions that we are going to study next? You tell me. You can type or you can speak. Yes, Prachi, correct answer. All of you can answer this. Okay, Chanda, that is one. Actually, we are going to study 2 types of reactions now. What are the 2 types? And it is very clear. Very good, Chanda. Now your answer is complete. It is very clear from this paragraph as to what we are going to study next. Okay, Aman. That's one part. The remaining students, are you giving up? Are you telling me that you are not at RC level 5.5? This is not science. This is English. Aman, both the answers that you have given, they refer to the same thing. Okay. What we are going to study based on this paragraph is very clear. Is we will study about fast reactions and we will study about slow reactions. Fast and slow reactions. It's clear, right? It says some reactions take short time to complete. Some reaction take a long time to complete. Short time means fast, rapid. Long time means slow. So fast and slow reactions. If you remember, when we made the list of all the reactions, types of reactions that we are going to study in this chapter, we made this list. Combination reaction, done. Decomposition reaction, done. Displacement reaction, studied. Double displacement reaction, studied. Endothermic reactions, complete. Exothermic reaction. This is also complete. We did this all in the last class. Today, now, we will look at fast reactions, slow reactions, and we will start getting introduced to oxidation reactions, reduction reactions. This was the list, right? If you remember, there were 10 types of reaction that I had listed. I lied to you. I did not lie to you. I just made it simple for you. Today, I'm going to tell you that there is 11th type of reaction. There is one more type of reaction. Right? I'm not telling you the name of that reaction right now. When we come to that part of the session today, you will tell me what is that last type of reaction in this chapter. So all that is shown in green, it's done. What is being shown in yellow, we will complete that today. And whatever is shown in orange, we will start studying about them today, but we will not complete it. Be ready. Have your textbooks and have your notebooks with you. So as Aman very clearly said, right? Some reactions take short time to complete. Some reactions take long time to complete. Those that take short time to complete, jaldi ho gaya, that is fast reaction. Those that take long time to complete, der se hua, dheere dheere hua, that is called slow reaction. Nothing, no rocket science here, very simple. Now let us try identify which of these 6 are fast and which of these 6 are slow. We may know some things, we may not know some things, right? So which of these do we know? You can type or you can speak. So when you are giving the answer, if you are typing it, you will say 1, then you will say fast or slow. F for fast, S for slow. Similarly, 5, F for fast, S for slow. Without number, I cannot understand what you are trying to say. So include the reaction number as well as your answer, whether it is fast or slow. सबने खाना बनाया है ना घर पे? गैस ऑन करके उसमें माचिस से या लाइटर से you have ignited it? Is it fast or slow? And why are you saying it is fast, Karthik? क्या हम लाइटर में लगाने के बाद हम 10 मिनट रुकते हैं कि आग लगे? माचिस लगी नहीं कि उधर आग लग जाती है, right? So it is very fast. It's very fast. So first reaction, very clearly, no doubt at all of us know this. When we are igniting the gas, cooking gas, it catches fire immediately. So it is a fast reaction, no doubt at all. What is 2? Iron article undergoes rusting. Rusting means जंग लगना. जंग तुरंत लग जाता है. अंकित के साइकिल पे भी जंग लगा होगा, उसके हैंडल पे और साइकिल के चेन पे भी जंग लगा होगा. क्या तुरंत लग जाता है? नहीं लगता. कई दिन, हफ्ते, महीने लग जाते हैं, उसके बाद जंग लगता है. Slow. It takes a long time. Third one. I'm sorry for the spelling mistake. It's erosion. EROSIO. This is from geography. Erosion, constant breaking of the rocks due to various factors, including running water. Rivers also cause erosion. And yes, your answers are correct. It takes a long time. It's a slow process. This is actually not a reaction. This is a process. This is not a reaction. Huh? What about 4, 5, 6? Muskan and Sania, if you are just typing fast, slow, and if you are not typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there is no way I can understand which question you are answering. Make a guess. Make a guess. क्या हो रहा होगा? कौन सा फास्ट होगा? कौन सा स्लो होगा? Alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper condition. Where else do we use yeast? Where else do we use yeast? Or where else in home we definitely use one of these processes where we use yeast or yeast like thing for making bread, correct? And in most Indian homes, we don't make bread, we buy bread, but we make idli, dosa. So that batter is left overnight. No? So this is a slow process. This is a slow process. What about the other two? Effervescence is formed. Effervescence means bulbule nikalna. When we are opening a bottle of cold drink, Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, Pepsi, which is not good for our health, but the moment we open it, bubbles come up. That phenomenon is called effervescence, bubbling up. Is bubbling up a fast process or a slow process? It's a fast process. Okay? Even if we are not able to make carry out these experiments, we are able to make good guesses that this will be fast. And final one. Number 6. A white precipitate is formed on adding dilute sulfuric acid to barium chloride. We should be able to write this reaction. BaCl2 plus H2SO4. Complete the reaction. I will tell you that there will be something with barium and then there will be something with hydrogen. And yes, your answers are correct. This will also be a fast reaction. Clear. And if you are guessing it, yes, this will also be a double displacement reaction. Very good, Khadija. Very fast. I think you are able to answer fast because you are making that list of elements and compounds. So this will be BaSO4, which will precipitate. And of course, this will be yellow. And then HCl. Now, can you please quickly balance this? Is it balanced already? I don't think it is balanced. Balance it and tell. Just one more thing we have to do and it will balance. Very good, very good, very good. You have understood. We will just write 2 HCl. Now this is balanced. So whenever we are writing the equation, we will write a balanced equation. Yes, correct. All of you have given the correct answer. It will be 2 HCl, right? So these are some examples of fast processes, fast reactions and slow reactions. It's very easy, very easy. What is more interesting is what we are going to study next. First, let us understand, confirm, agree that some reactions are fast and some reactions are slow. We are seeing the examples right in front of us. Rusting takes days and months. Start igniting the cooking gas just takes not even a second. So some reactions are fast, some reactions are slow. And if you ask me, how is rusting a chemical change? What reaction it is? Yes, we are going to study that in much detail. Not today. In the next class, we will understand it in much detail. So have patience. So do we agree that some reactions are fast and some reactions are slow? If we agree, then we can move to the next part. If we don't, then we will have to clarify this once again. Okay, we have agreed. I'll clear the screen and move to the next part. Khadija says she already knows what happens in rusting. Yes, all of you should already know. We will see how many of you know. Now, another example from our day-to-day life. दही बनाना. क्या हम हमेशा दही बाजार से खरीद के लाते हैं कि घर पे भी बनाते हैं? क्या आपने कभी दही बनाया, जमाया? कैसे बनाया? Can someone please come out of mute and tell दही कैसे बनाते हो घर पे? बताओ बताओ बताओ. Come out of mute and tell. Do you always buy all the curd from outside, from the market? Or do you make curd? Do you set curd at home? How do you do it? Aman, perfect answer. Aman has said, we take a lot of milk and we add some curd to it. And yes, we count 1, 2, 3, abracadabra, and we get curd. Aman, does that happen? Do we get curd immediately? Anushka is saying, we put it overnight. Khadija is saying, we keep it overnight. है ना? दूध में थोड़ा दही डाल के हम छोड़ देते हैं उसको. हम उसको, we don't even stir it, we don't even shake it, we keep it still overnight, and then we see that we have curd. And it's not a physical change, it's a chemical change, setting of curd. Have you noticed any difference in how long it takes for the curd to form, that in winter and summer? When does it happen fast? When does it take more time? Is it faster in summer or is it faster in the winter? Alfia is saying it is faster in the winter. Chanda is saying it is faster in the summer. Aman is saying it is faster in the summer. Yes. Muskan, they are saying faster in the winter. Summer, it is slower in the summer. Muskan, Sania, and Alfia, you really need to check with your mothers or fathers or brothers and sisters at home. Get this fact right. Curd is set much faster in summer. It takes much longer in winter. And of course, what is the difference? Why is the speed of this reaction changing from season to season? What is the difference between summer and winter? Mainly, it is the temperature. It is the temperature. Now you connect what is happening to the temperature in different season and what is happening to the speed of formation of curd from milk. What can you say? Temperature is directly proportional to the speed of this reaction. So if we say this, speed of reaction, and on the other side, or not, let us do a simple fill in the blanks. Speed of reaction You will say either directly or inversely proportional to temperature. What will be your answer? Directly proportional or inversely proportional? Suddenly maths has come into the picture. It's not maths, it's just the language. Prachi, correct answer. Waiting for others. You remember what direct proportion means, what inverse proportion means. See what is happening. If the temperature is increasing, is the speed increasing or is it decreasing? If the temperature is decreasing, is the speed increasing or is it decreasing? Are the changes in the same direction or in the opposite direction? What do we say when the change is in the same direction? What do we say when the change is in the opposite direction? Prachi, Khadija, Chanda, correct answer. Same direction. One increases, other also increases. One decreases, the other also decreases. It is called direct proportion. Direct. So this is one example where we get to know that the speed of the reaction is not constant. It can be changed. It varies. It varies with respect to certain conditions. But first, let us agree that yes, the speed of the reaction varies. It doesn't remain constant. If we agree on this, then we can understand. We can start studying to understand how the speed depends on various factors. Okay. You have agreed. Good. Now let us see how or what factors affect the speed of the reaction. The factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. What we are going to do now is, you are looking at page numbers 40 and 41. You are looking at page numbers 40 and 41, and you are listing all the factors that affect the rate of the chemical reaction. The answer are there. The factors that affect rate of chemical reaction are mentioned very, very clearly and simply on pages 40 and 41. Go glance through these two pages quickly and type your answers in the chat. You are telling me. What are the factors? What are the different things that affect the speed of a reaction, rate of a reaction? Rate of a reaction means speed of a reaction. Two students have sent the complete list of 5 factors. Very good, Anushka. You are reading the right thing. Don't worry about the details. Just list out the factors first. Are you able to see? Prachi has found out. Khadija has found out. Anushka has definitely found out. How are the other students doing? Do you know where we are looking? What we are reading? Kusum, are you awake? Alfia, Aditya, are you awake? Arti, are you awake? Ankit, are you awake? Okay, Karthik, you have given us 4. What happened to the 5th? Thank you for the 4th. Anushka also got all the 5. Karthik got the 5th one. If you look at page number 40 and 41, you will see the heading factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. A, B, C, D, E. These are the 5 things, 5 factors. Also, a little bit of English, and that is, what is the meaning, what is the spelling of the word effect? Sometimes we write it like this, E, F, F, E, C, T. Some other times we write it like A, F, F, E, C, T. Do you know what the difference is? You should know. Oh, Chanda also sent the answers on WhatsApp. It was so much faster. I saw it only now. What is the difference between effect and affect? EFFECT and AFFECT. Do you know or not? Prachi is saying affect is about impact. And what is effect then? EFFECT. Prachi is saying effect is about results. Okay. It's very interesting to get a glimpse of how your mind is working. Please, others. EFFECT and AFFECT. The short answer is EFFECT is the noun. The impact itself is called effect, EFFECT. The process of impact, the verb, is effect, AFFECT. Both are about impact, both are about result. The impact and result themselves are EFFECT. The process of impact and result, they are ASFECT. So E is noun, A is verb. That was just a little bit of English. Coming back to science. If you read pages 40 and 41 carefully, you would have found out these 5 factors. First one, nature of reactants. Second one, size of particles of reactants. Third one, concentration of reactants. Fourth one, temperature of reactants. Fifth one, presence of catalyst. Okay? I'm suggesting you don't write catalyst, you write presence of catalyst. This makes more sense. You will understand it in a minute, in a moment. These are the 5 things. Can you now, can I get more confirmations? Yes, sir. We found where it is in the textbook, where these are in the textbook. A, B, C, D, E, 5 things are listed. Good. So let us try understand each one of them in a little bit detail. Nature of reactants. What it simply means is, it's very, very easy. What it simply means is the speed of the reaction, is directly proportional to the reactivity of the reactants. And we already know from last year and this year that all the elements, all the compounds, all the chemicals are not equally reactive. They are not equally reactive because they have different chemical, different electronic configurations. So depending on how reactive they are, the pace of the reaction, the speed of the reaction may be fast or slow. And the example that is given is where we are trying to react aluminium with sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. Also, we are trying to react zinc with hydrochloric acid. Now, because we have already learned to write the chemical equations, we will try to complete the reactions. We will not stop at just reading and understanding. We should be able to write these reactions. So dilute hydrochloric acid, aluminium plus hydrochloric acid, zinc plus hydrochloric acid. Both will be displacement reactions. And it says hydrogen gas will be released. So H2 gas is released. H2 gas is released. If hydrogen gas is released, that means aluminium and chlorine will combine. So AlCl, aluminium chloride, ZnCl, zinc chloride. But I have written both formulae wrong. I have just written two elements together. I have not considered their valency. Valency of chlorine is 1. Valency of zinc is 2. So zinc chloride will be written as zinc ZnCl2. What will be the formula for aluminium chloride? Do you remember the valency of aluminium? It is 3. It is 3. So to balance the second equation, all we have to do is put a 2 here. Now it is balanced. How will we balance the first equation? Try balance, tell me. Let's see if you are able to do. Balance and send it to me on WhatsApp. You can do it. You can do it. Try. Show me a thumb up if you are trying. Okay. Remember, there is no fixed method for doing this balancing. Also remember what I told you when we were balancing. I gave you the example of fractions, unlike fractions, like fractions. Always use that concept from maths. Okay, someone has sent me the answer. Anushka, you got it almost correct. Almost. Check again. Small mistake. I'm so happy for you. Just very small mistake. Okay, I'm going to give a hint now. Listen to the hint carefully. You see, there are 3 chlorine atoms on the product side. There are 2 hydrogen atoms on the product side. And on the reactant side, hydrogen and chlorine are together in one molecule. This is the hint. Anushka, correct your answer. You can do it. And when I tell you what you have done, you will what? Bang your head. Anushka, you have done addition instead of doing the multiplication. That is why just one number you got it wrong. I'm repeating the hint. On the product side, there are 3 chlorine atoms and 2 hydrogen atoms. On the reactant side, hydrogen and chlorine are together in a molecule. How do we equate them? How do we make them balance? How do we balance them? It's a simple case of LCM. Come on. Yes, Prachi, you got it right. Anushka, nah, Baba Anushka, you corrected at the wrong place. See, look at the screen. Look at the screen. I don't know, Anushka, how you did it, but you were so close and it was so fast also. Huh? So we have 3 chlorine atoms and 2 hydrogen atoms. And we see on the left-hand side that they are together. So the LCM of 2 and 3 will be 6. Both are prime numbers. Now, if you want to balance, this will become 2, this will become 3, this will become 2. Anushka, you got this right. You got this right. Then you added 2 plus 3, 5, 2 plus 3, 5, and you wrote 5 here. What you should have done, 3 into 2, 6, 2 into 3, 6. So you should have written the 6 here. Alfia, we are trying to write about aluminium reacting with hydrochloric acid. Please see, think, understand, confirm. Anushka, did you get the answer correct now? Did I tell you what I said is correct? You added instead of multiplying. Moving on. Huh? So we will do this with all the examples. Wherever the reactions are given in words, we will try to write them in the equation form. Anushka, yes. See, if you know maths, it will be so much easier. Good. Let us move on. So this is about nature of reactants. Huh? So whichever is more reactive, the reaction will be faster. So in this case, zinc is more reactive than aluminium. No, aluminium is more reactive than zinc. So the reaction, the first reaction will be much faster than the second reaction. Aluminium is more reactive than zinc. And we will study about this reactivity series when we study the chapter about metallurgy towards the end of the year. It's a long chapter. So mathematically speaking, because aluminium is more reactive than zinc, because of this, reaction number 1 will be faster than the reaction number 2. That is it. This is the meaning of nature of reactants. This is talking about reactivity. The second factor is easier than this. The second factor is size of the particles of the reactants. कि कितने छोटे छोटे हैं या कितने बड़े बड़े हैं, कितने छोटे या फिर कितने बड़े हैं. Size of the particles. What in the example, what we are doing is we are taking some tiles and some specific type of tiles. We are using Shahabad tiles. Shahabad. It is a place where these tiles are made. Shahabad tiles. And we are reacting them with a same hydrochloric acid, HCl, dilute. And as expected, ये भी आपने, अच्छा ये तुमने तो देखा होगा ना, अगर हम आलू को छोटा छोटा काट देते हैं तो वो जल्दी पक जाता है, और अगर हम आलू को पूरे छोटे नहीं काटते हैं, बड़े रहने देते हैं, तो उसको पकने में ज्यादा टाइम लगता है. जिसने खाना बनाया है उसको पता है ऐसा होता है. मैं तो ज्यादा खाना नहीं बनाता. मैं सही बता रहा हूँ कि गलत बता रहा हूँ बेटा? होता है ऐसा. सब्जी हो या मीट हो, जो भी हो, when we cut them into smaller pieces, then they cook faster. When we cut them into larger pieces, they take much longer to cook. Same thing here. So if we take the tile and we try to react it with hydrochloric acid, it will be slow. This reaction will be slow. But अगर हम उसी को पाउडर कर दें and then we react it with hydrochloric acid, same dilute hydrochloric acid, then the reaction will change from slow reaction to a fast reaction. Just like cooking small cut vegetables or large cut vegetables. Told you it is easy, but we will try to write the reaction. So what is Shahabad tile? Shahabad tile is CaCO3. The limestone, the chalk, the marble, Shahabad tile, they are all same. Chemically, they are calcium carbonate. You complete the reaction and tell me what the product will be and balance it also. Quickly. Correct, Prachi. Smaller the particles, faster the reactions. Correct. Complete the reaction. Look at the textbook, see what is happening in the reaction and complete. There will be 3 products, not 2. There will be 3 products. Okay, Chanda, I've got your answer. I think it is correct. Let us see. Chanda is saying that we should write 2 HCl here and it is already balanced. Check. Is it balanced? Ca, Ca, 1C, 1C, then 3 oxygen and 3 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Balanced, correct. So as Prachi said, for our notes to remember, to write it in a short way, we can use it we can write it in the mathematical way, right? Where it will be we can summarize this as what? Speed of reaction is inversely proportional to the size of particles of reactants. साइज बड़ा हो जाएगा तो स्पीड कम हो जाएगा, साइज छोटा होगा तो स्पीड ज्यादा होगा. That is what it means. See?
तेरी माँ की चूत.
Ask the question if you have a doubt or show your thumb up. Okay. Moving on to the next. It's a question actually, which is directly from the textbook. Do I need to explain, Baba? Do I need to explain how to write this answer? I think it is very clear. It's very direct, directly from the textbook. We can write it in one sentence. How we summarized the last topic. How size of the particle of the reactants affect the speed of the reaction. Waiting for your answers. Give the scientific reason in just one sentence. Correct, Chanda. We can just say the speed of the reaction is inversely proportional to the size of the particles of the reactant. So powders, when we take the powder of the Shahbaz tile, the size of the particles of the reactant is smaller, so reaction is faster and they disappear rapidly. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's enough. Faster reaction, yes. So why that is faster? We will have to write. Yes, we will write it will be faster, and we will say it is faster because Anushka, we will not say powder just dissolve easily. We will say that in the powder, the size of the particles is smaller. So the reaction will be faster. This is what we will say. In the powder, I will write it on the screen. In the powder, the size of the particles is smaller. Then, so speed of reaction is faster. That's it. Done. So it dissolves rapidly, easily. See, think, ask if you have any doubt. If it is clear, we will move to the next part. Okay, we will move to the next part. Another factor which affects the speed of the reaction is the concentration. Concentration is kitna gaadha hai, and concentration makes sense when the reactants are in the solution form. When the reaction are in solution form, then the more if the amount of the solute is more, the proportion of the solute is more, then the reaction will be faster. Simple, na? Concentrated sulfuric acid will react more, dilute sulfuric acid will react slower. So again, mathematically, speed of the reaction, 1 second. Speed of the reaction is directly proportional to concentration of reactants. Now look at the description, look at the example that is given in the textbook and tell me, do we need to write more reactions or we already know that reaction, the reaction that will be there for this example? Look at the textbook, read this part, concentration of reactants, and confirm. I think we already know this reaction. No? It says CaCO3. We just wrote the reaction, CaCO3, calcium carbonate, Shahbaz tiles. So it's the same. The example is same. So we can also say that if we try to react Shahbaz tiles with concentrated hydrochloric acid, then the reaction will be faster. The equation will be same. So the equation that we wrote, with Chanda balanced, CaCO3 plus HCl, CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2. We balanced it by saying this. It's the same reaction. Same equation. Now, if we use concentrated, in the previous case, we took dilute. Now, if we take concentrated hydrochloric acid, we will write it in the bracket CONC. So this reaction will be faster. This is the only change. Previously, we wrote DIL for dilute. Now it is concentrated. So CONC. How is this? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Is it understood? Can we move forward? It's easy. Moving forward. The next factor is the temperature. It is the temperature. And the example that is given in the textbook, I find it a little funny. It says, when we took calcium carbonate, limestone, it's again the same compound, CaCO3. And remember, we heated it. When we heated it, it broke down into, complete the reaction. Find the reaction in the textbook, or you remember what happened when we heated it. We studied this in the decomposition reaction also. This happened. And the more we heat, the faster the reaction will be. If we don't heat this, if we don't increase the temperature, there will not be any reaction. It will not break. The decomposition will not happen. The decomposition will not happen. So again, mathematically, we can say speed of the reaction one second. Speed of the reaction is directly proportional to temperature of reactants. Done. इसमें भी we can take the example of what cooking. खाना कब जल्दी बनता है, धीमी आंच पे कि ऊंची आंच पे? When we keep the flame on high or when we keep the flame on low? When does the food cook faster? High flame. So when we increase the heat, the reactions are usually faster. We know this. We have seen this every day in our homes. So these are the 4 factors. 5th one, which your textbook calls catalyst, we will call it presence of catalyst. We will not just say catalyst, we will say presence of catalyst. And you will understand why. Presence of catalyst. Where did we come across this word catalyst? Which equation was it? On which page is it in this chapter? I'm not referring to the reaction on page number 41. We have come across this word catalyst earlier also. For which reaction? Where? Give me the page number. Give me the reaction number. Yes. We saw on page number 33. Top of the page, vegetable oil reacts with hydrogen in the presence of nickel as a catalyst. In the presence of nickel as a catalyst to form vanaspati ghee. So that is also an example of how catalysts affect the reaction, speed of the reaction. Now, if we take another reaction where potassium chlorate, KClO3, and we heat it. When we heat it, it decomposes into potassium chloride and oxygen gas is released. When we balance it, we will see that we will get a 2 here, we will get a 2 here, and we will get a 3 here. Now, the speed of this reaction the speed of this reaction can be increased by the presence of a catalyst, which is manganese dioxide. Mn for manganese, O2 is dioxide, manganese dioxide. So if manganese dioxide is there, this reaction is faster. So manganese dioxide acts as a catalyst. Another example, if you look at, is it there? Yes, equation number 17. Where is equation number 17? Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, decomposing into H2O and oxygen. When it is balanced, it becomes 2H2O2, 2H2O. I'm referring to the textbook, and O2. And when we studied this decomposition reaction, we said this happens at the room temperature. This happens at the room temperature. But we can increase the pace of the reaction, speed of the reaction by placing some manganese dioxide, Mn, not MnO2, manganese dioxide. The most important thing to be noted here is, although manganese dioxide or whichever the catalyst is, they change the speed of the reaction, they themselves do not take part in the reaction. They don't. वो बस वहीं पे रहते हैं. They just help in a physical way. They help the reaction happen in a physical way. They don't have a chemical role to play. जैसे कि अगर क्या दो बलून अगर उड़ रहे हैं, दूर भाग रहे हैं, अगर हमको उनको पास में रखना है तो हमको उनको बांध के रखना पड़ेगा. So that kind of impact these catalysts have on the reactants, and they increase the reaction. So in both these examples, the catalyst, this substance is called catalyst. It is manganese dioxide, and in the other reaction, which we saw on page number 33, the catalyst is nickel. The presence of it makes it faster, makes the reaction faster. याद रखो, the catalyst itself doesn't take part in the reaction. So you should be able to give 3 examples: vegetable oil, in the presence of nickel, vanaspati ghee. Manganese dioxide and nickel. And it is, we will not say, we can say, but we will not say that catalysts always increase the speed of the reaction. We will just say they will change the speed of the reaction. We use catalyst to increase the speed of the reaction. Is it okay? Is there any doubt? Lot of information. Concepts are simple. So we first understood that not all the reactions happen at the same pace. Some are fast, some are slow. We then understood that the same reaction can happen at different speeds depending on the conditions. What are those conditions? The condition is about the nature of the reactant, the size of the particles of the reactant, concentration of the reactant, temperature of the reactant, also presence of the catalyst. सिर्फ कैटलिस्ट बोलने से नहीं चलेगा ना. कैटलिस्ट होगा तब होगा. निकल में दूर रखूंगा. मैंगनीज डाइऑक्साइड, if I keep it far, that is not going to affect the speed of the reaction. Next. Can you answer this question quickly? another direct question from the textbook and another very direct question to answer, क्योंकि अभी अभी हमने पढ़ा. What can we do to increase the speed of this reaction? Prachi, if you just say manganese dioxide, that will not be enough now. What do we have to say? By adding, we can increase the speed of this reaction. We can increase the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide by adding some manganese dioxide. Then our answer is complete. Manganese dioxide. यही तो अभी हमने बोला ना, H2O2. नहीं कहा हमने? H2O2 decomposes into H2O and O2. And yes, we need to balance this. And we said we can increase the speed if we place some manganese dioxide as a catalyst. So just naming the catalyst is not enough. We will say by adding manganese dioxide. Such simple questions, such short questions, such direct questions in our textbook. Good to move forward. Okay. In the next screen, you are going to see something you will read, and it is again directly from the textbook. Take some time, read. I have some questions for you, just 2 or 3 questions. Quickly have a look. Thumbs up when you are ready. Correct, Chanda. अभी तुम्हारा message मिला मुझे. The presence of, by adding manganese dioxide, we can increase the pace of the decomposition reaction. Okay, one person has completed the reading. I will start setting up my questions. I'm not asking them, I'm just highlighting the questions. These are the 3 questions I'm going to ask. So while others are completing reading this, question number 1. What is an enzyme? Have we studied about it? How can we define an enzyme? See what it says. In our body, enzymes increase the rate of physiological reactions. So enzymes also, why am I saying also? Enzymes also increase the rate of reactions. So what are they acting as? If they are increasing the rate of the reaction, what are they acting as? They are acting as catalysts, correct? And where are they acting as catalysts? In the lab, in the air, on the ground, in water, where? In our bodies, correct? So in simple terms, Enzymes are biological catalysts. Enzymes, I'm simplifying it, are biological catalysts. And I mentioned this to you when we were studying chapter number 1 in science 2. Enzymes are biological catalysts. Good. Second question. Point number 7 says the chemical reactions are profitable in chemical factories if the rate is fast. Why is it said? Why are they saying this? That it will be profitable if the chemical reactions are fast. Why so? Factory mein, why will this make everything profitable if the reactions are faster? Concept of maths, concept of economics. Yes, very simple. कम टाइम में ज्यादा चीज बन जाएगा. Yes. कम टाइम में ज्यादा चीज बनेगा. Very simple. Correct. Last question. Can you tell me the formula for ozone? Ozone is a compound. No, ozone is not a compound. Ozone is a substance. What is the chemical formula for ozone? We all know, I hope we all know, there is a layer of ozone in atmosphere. It stops the harmful ultraviolet rays reaching us and thus protects us. And the pollution is reducing the amount of ozone. Correct, Karthik, Khadija. The formula for ozone is O3. So ozone is also oxygen, but its formula is 3. It's a molecule of oxygen in which 3 oxygen atoms form bond, not 2. Generally, 2 oxygen atoms combine together to form a molecule of oxygen. But ozone is different. Here, 3 oxygen elements combine to form a molecule of oxygen. Very good. When did you study this? How do you know this? Those who know, it is good. Those who don't know, please see, think, ask if you have any doubt. Show me a thumb up if you are ready to move. Fiza, are you awake? Okay, moving on. The last part of the chapter, which will talk about oxygen, hydrogen, and electrons. I told you in the beginning that we will look at fast reactions, slow reactions, and we will look at oxidation reaction, reduction reactions. So that is where we are now. And we will also look at third type of another reaction, the 11th type of reaction. That is the part of the chapter we are in now. We will just get introduced to these types of reactions. You will come prepared tomorrow and then we can study more. Keep your textbooks open. Observe these 2 reactions carefully. Take 30 seconds. When I say observe, you are looking and you are thinking, what are the reactants? What are the products? What is happening in these reactions? What type of reactions are these? Do we know what type of reaction are these? Yes, correct answer. It's a type of reaction, the name of which starts with a C. What is it? Combination reaction. In both reactions, we see magnesium In the first one, magnesium is combining with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. In the second one, carbon is combining with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Multiple reactants, single product, combination reaction. What is, we should also notice that in both the reactions, the combination is happening with oxygen. The combination is happening with oxygen. And such reactions are called oxidation reaction. Such reactions are called oxidation reaction. When oxygen is added, when something is combining with oxygen, it is called oxidation reaction. Convinced? Oxygen, oxidation. No? From name to noun, abstract noun, oxidation, name of the process. Good. Let us move. In this reaction, we just now we saw this reaction as example of use of catalyst. What is being added here? Are we adding oxygen or something else? What are we adding here? Chanda, we are not adding nickel. Nickel is just there. Yes, Khadija, we are adding hydrogen, and that is why we said that this reaction is also called as hydrogenation. Correct? You remember it correctly. In general, here we are adding hydrogen. In the previous reactions, we were adding oxygen. In this reaction, we are adding hydrogen. So when such reactions where hydrogen is added, they are called reduction reactions. When oxygen is added, the reaction is called oxidation reaction. When hydrogen is added, the reaction is called as a reduction reaction. बस नाम है, मैंने अभी आपको सिर्फ नाम बताया, मैंने अभी आपको नहीं बताया why is it called reduction. Something is reducing क्या? I don't know. We don't know yet. We will find out. But clearly we are adding hydrogen. Clear? Addition of oxygen is oxidation. Addition of hydrogen is reduction. Any doubt? Any question? Or can we move? Now comes the interesting part. Look at these reactions, 3 reactions on your screen. And one by one, you are looking at the first reaction first. CuO, copper oxide, reacting with hydrogen to form copper and water. What can you say? Is it oxidation or reduction? Is it oxidation or reduction? First one. Who is saying both? Chanda is saying both. Karthik is saying reduction. Khadija is saying reduction. More people. Aman, Alfia, Ankit, Fiza, Muskan, Sania, Shahin. Are we adding oxygen? Are we adding hydrogen? That is the question. If you are adding hydrogen, it will be reduction. If you are adding oxygen, it will be oxidation. What is happening? ध्यान से देखो. This is addition of oxygen. ध्यान से देखो. This is removal of oxygen. Look at the other example. From here to here, removal of oxygen. From here to here, it is addition of oxygen. Another. From here to here, oxygen is removed. from here to here. Oxygen is added. So in these examples, we are doing both. We are adding oxygen and we are reducing oxygen. We are adding oxygen, we are reducing oxygen. We are having oxidation, we are having reduction also. And such reactions are called as the redox reactions. And this is the 11th reaction that I had not told you about before. Redox reaction. Reduction and oxidation. RED, reduction. OX, oxidation. I am sure I have not explained to you all the details of oxidation, reduction, and redox. I am sure that you have not understood all the details of oxidation, reduction, and redox. But all I am trying to do now for today is to impress upon you that in some reactions, oxygen will be added. In some reactions, oxygen will be removed or hydrogen will be added. In some reaction, both will happen. Oxygen will be added and removed. Those are the last three types of reaction: oxidation, reduction, and redox. So if we go back to that slide where there was a question mark in the beginning. Okay. Here, what we can say is the 11th type of reaction is redox reaction. I will also tell you why I did not include this in the list earlier. We will also discuss, do we need to include this in the list at all? But to discuss that, we will need to understand oxidation, reduction, and redox in much more detail that we will do next time. So for us to be able to have that discussion, for us to be able to understand, learn from that discussion, please do complete this homework. You will complete your notes, including adding to the list of elements and compounds. And as discussed, maybe you will add a column to that, color. You will complete the questions that we discussed in the class today, very simple questions. And you will read pages 41 to 45 of your Science 1 textbook. Do this by tonight, or do this before the class tomorrow in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, and we will be able to study the remaining part of the chapter, oxidation, reduction, and